Alright guys, so this is a complete video on the analytical cashbook. We'll be learning analytical cashbook, payroll, and then the day books. But for now, I want to finish with the analytical cashbook. Then we'll see the way forward. Alright, so as most of you were requesting for, this is it. Alright, so before you design the analytical cashbook, you will need to have your Microsoft Excel launched like this. Then you need to have 3 worksheets. So for example, this worksheet 1, I will add another one and I'll call it worksheet 2. Add another one, call it, sorry, this is the first one, this is the second one, the third one. The first one I will name it file. I will say file sheet. The next one I will call it analytical. Alright, analytical in that order. Then the last one will become sales, what's the name? Payment and receipt. Alright, but because of time, I wouldn't want to spend the whole time typing. So I've already typed that. Then here's it. We have our file sheet, we have our analytical sheet, then we have our receipt and payment. Alright, so when you look at the question I posted on the group, we are using that one to solve. Alright, so with the question I posted on the group, we have they've given us the items. Question 1, let me read. Using the following account set up an analytical cashbook in Excel and receipt and payment account for Joy Fan Club. Alright, so they have given us the payment account, they've given us the receipt account. Alright, so with the payment account, these are items that was under it, and then this is the receipt items they gave. In every circumstance, this is how the question should be, and then you now have to come out with this and that. In some questions, it will clearly give you this, but in some questions it won't give you. They'll combine it with the expenses or the payment items. So you now have to separate it, or you can decide to still box it together. It's up onto you. All right. So for you to start, after creating this 3 sheet, now you come to your file sheet. When you come to your file sheet, the first thing you do is you type the headings. You give them headings. So on the first row, this row 1, alright, so in cell A1, you type the account class. B1, you type income, expenses, and then asset. Alright, these are just labels. They're just labels. We're just giving it a label. This is not part of what they are doing, but it will help us know that these are the account class items, these are the income items, and that order. Alright, so under the account class, we will come out with our own account class. And from the question, you could see that we have incomes, right? Or the receipts. Then we have expenses, right? Then we also have assets. So they are our account class. They are the group of our accounts we have. So we'll then put those names in here. So we have the income group, the expense group, and then we have the asset group. All right. Then you also type for the income and then the rest. After that, let us define the cells we have, or let us define the group of items we have here. So first of all, we will define our account class group. All right. So how do you do that? From the second row, we will select the income. When you click on income, don't leave. Hold with your left click and hold. Drag down, or you can select. Don't add the account class. Don't add the heading. Don't add this one. No. Let's start from the income. Select to anywhere you want. Provided, you can select to the asset. You can add more rows as far as or as long as you want. Anyhow you want to just do that. Then you come to the name box. You see this name box where the cursor is moving right now. This is the name box. This place is what we call the name box. You click on it. You can see that A2 will be selected. All right. Now when A2 is selected, just clear it and type account class. Type the account class. All right. Don't type account class with space. Just type ACCT class together. All right, like this. Type this one there at the name box. Okay. When you're done, then you enter. So when I select it again, I could see that that name will appear. All right. Now let's do the same thing for the income. From B2, select to. You can select up to B10. or B20 or B30 or whatever you want. Now the reason we do this is so that if in future we are adding more items, for example, now we have only 3 items here, right? But maybe in future we want to add additional 50 items. Now when you are entering the additional items, for example, when we select this and we name it as incomes, and later on we type something here, you see that it won't be part of the income item. So we need to select more rows so that anytime we add an additional item, it will be part of those items. All right. So here will be what we call, we'll name these ones as from B2 to B10. Let's name it income. All right. So now when you are naming the incomes, or when you are giving the group names, don't always name it according to the headings. You see, if this heading were to be, let's say, incomes or receipt, you don't also type here receipts. You type it according to what you have here. You see, here is income. All right. And then when you go to the expenses too, you see this is expenses. But when you come to the under the account class, it is expense. So you type there expense instead of expenses. All right. So income. Then you enter. Now let's move to the expenses. Then let's also select that one to 10. Okay. Then go to name box and type the expense without S, as I said. See, the heading here is expenses, but here is expense. All right. Enter. Now let's go and name the asset. All right. Let's name. Let me add. You can just stick to anywhere, but I just want to add one row. So in case we are solving the question, then we see what item. We're just going to add it. All right. Let's name it asset. Asset. Then you enter. Okay. After you select, you go to a name box and type asset. Now when you finish and enter, you can reselect the same range again and see whether the name will appear. You see, when I select it again, so that they are showing me, they are indicating there as asset, if you can see it clearly. All right, asset. Now let's continue. Let's go to, so now when you are done with this, you are done with, whilst you do this, you are done with the file items like that. Now let's move to the analytical. All right, let's come to analytical. Let me start from all right, analytical. All right, so in the analytical cashbook, we will, okay, let's start from the fifth row, so that, the headings, we'll be putting our balances on top. So, or let's start from the sixth row. All right, let's start from the sixth row. Let's come to the row 6. All right, so A6, row A, column, cell A6. Let's start on A6 and type the receipt. This is just like the traditional way of doing the petty cash. Like this. This is the petty cash book. Let me see whether I can zoom it. All right, this is the petty cash book. You see how it is prepared? We start from what? Receipt, date, let's say ref or whatever. Then we have details here. We have voucher number. Then we have payment. Okay. So anytime you are receiving, you enter the amount at the receipt side. It doesn't go to this. It doesn't go to the payment side. You bring it here. But anytime you are what is it? You are making payment out of the money you receive. For example, they receive 100 Ghana cedis on this day, right? And then they came and here that was stamp, right? They spent 20 cedis on stamp. Okay, the stamp is postage, right? So they spent 20 cedis on stamp. So when the amount were spent on stamp, you say it was recorded against total payment instead of total receipt, right? And this same amount went under what? Postage. That means the same thing we'll be doing here. So when you record the item, it should go to its respective side. For example, we have stationery here, right? Now let's come to this line. Let's say on 19th, they spend what? 10 cedis on stapler. and then staplers was stationary, right? So the amount was posted against stationary. I don't know where you can see. All right, it was posted against stationary. So the same, just in that order, the same thing will be applying here. Let's now, okay, here we'll be applying the same sense here. So we'll also start from receipt, then we have date, right? So date. Then we had let me say ref. I don't like the details. Let me say ref. Reference number. Okay. Let me say, oh well, let me put details. If not, you'll be confused. Details. All right. Let me put after details, payment. Wait, what am I typing? Payment. What am I typing? Payment. Then we have account class. Let me say ACCT class. Then we have account. All right, we have account. Oh, this will not worry me. Account, whatever. Account, then we have account, right? Okay, so after the account, the next thing we will do is that we will type all the accounts we have. The accounts are the income items. Sorry, the accounts are, well, they are also part of accounts, but here we will not allocate any spendings on them, so they're not part. So here the accounts are all these items, from here to here, all of them are the accounts. So we're typing them over there. But you may type and then instead of rent, after typing the rent, you leave space. You see, when you leave space like this, the space is also another character. So it will give us errors. So for us to prevent any error, we will not type. We'll just come and copy them and come and put them here. Are you okay? So after typing the account, let's go back to the file sheet. Now let's copy all the expense items. Let's copy the expenses. Select them from insurance to stationery. Control C. Am I correct? We have communication. We are swapping. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 11 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I don't up. Let me type it in. Insurance, rent, motor running, allowance, motor vehicle. I didn't type motor vehicle. Okay, that's it. Some of them are here, so that's it. Alright, so let's copy this one. Then, now let's come back to our analytical. Let's turn on H, right click, H6, right click. We want to come and paste them here. But when you just come and do this, you see, you have pasted it in a way in a way which is not supposed to be. We want to paste it this instead of that. Okay, so we want it to go this way instead of coming down like this. Alright, so how do you do? When you bring the items, stand on H6, right click. Then if you want to know SL more, you don't just when I come I have to do this. No, you see, when you right click, SL will give you options to do. This is a paste option, right? But we don't want it this way. This is another paste option, but we don't want it this way. This is also another paste option. We don't want it to be like this. Alright, this is also another paste option, but this is how I want it. Transpose. So this is the transpose we're using. Okay, this is also another one, but we don't want it that. We just want it to be like this. So transpose. Then you click. Now let's go back to the file sheet and copy the other two. Asset is also treated as expenses because there will be cost allocating to them. Let's say furniture. Anytime we buy, there will be cost allocated to it. So it's also part of the expenses. So let's also bring them here. But the only thing that you not bring here is the income items. You wouldn't bring the income items. Alright. So let's copy this one. Control C. Alright, so we will copy the what's the name? Asset items. So select from furniture to motor vehicle, Control C, then you send it back to analytical. Come after the last item we had, which is stationery. Stationery was in N, right? So we move to cell O. Just select cell O6, then just right click again, then we transpose these items. Alright, so now we have them up to P. So when you paste them, you see something like this. For example, communication. See, the word is hidden. You can just, if you want to see the entire word, move the cursor to, for example, communication is M, right? Move to the top. Place the cursor on the line that separates M and N. When you put the cursor in their middle like this, it will tend to that. I don't know whether plus or whatever. Double plus with arrows, arrow left and arrow right. Just double click on it. Or another thing, you can place the cursor on the line, click and hold, and drag open. Alright. So now that we have all our items, we now want to validate the input or the fields. But then, if I validate this one now, for example, if I put here that this is date, alright, let me say this place is date, or let me say this cell is percentage. Let me type something that you see. 4. It says I count 4%. When I come here and type 4, it won't be percent because it's only on this field that I formatted. Okay. So now we will, for us to achieve our goal, let's put it inside a table so that after typing and we come and type here, the formulas, everything will take effect. Okay. So we want to insert it inside table. Now for you to put this item inside table, you can either stand on any of the cells that have items, right? Stand on any of them and then insert a table. Or you can stand on the cell which is below it, or a cell that is above it to insert a table. Alright. Let me also come to this end. So you can literally insert it standing here on it, or down, or even here. When you stand here, you can insert the table. But let me just stand on any of them. You can stand on A, you can stand on B, C, up to O. You can stand on anywhere. Okay, let me stand here. Now, let's insert the table. How do you insert the table? You hold Control. You press hold Control. You press on the Control key. Hold it. As I sit, I'm holding the Control key now. Now you just tap on T or L. T or L. So me, I did Control T. T for table. So Control T. Then it will automatically select all the items for you. Now it will come like this. Table, create table, right? Now we have something like my table have headers, right? Make sure you check it. This particular dialog. Let me bring it here. There's something here like my table have header. If it's not checked like this, make sure you check it. If not that, if you don't check, it will do something like this. It will do something like this for you. You see column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. We don't want it that way. We want to tell the system that we have our own headers and these are our headers. But if you don't do that, the system will create default headers for you. Okay, so let's always insert that. So this, all right. So in case you do and see that, for you to do that correction like I did, when you see this, you can either undo. You can either undo, Control Z to undo, or possibly you click on the table, you click on any of the cells inside the table, you go to table design. Now you come to the property side. Here you can use this one to resize the table. For example, when you are doing this, when you inserted the table, it stopped somewhere here. This one was in part. So when you come, you see that we have A6 up to P6, right? So if you have more items, let's say up to Z, you can just change the P there to Z. Are you okay? All right. And then if you want to delete this table, then we don't want to delete everything, but we want to just remove the table from the content. What you do is that when you click on any of the cell, you go to table design, then you come to convert to range. They'll say, do you want to convert to range? Yes. When you do here, that's all. It's no more a table. There the colors will be there, so you can then remove the colors. But it's no more a table. All right, you can just come and remove all the colors. Say no field, and then here's it. All right. Now it says normal text. All right. But I don't want that. Let me undo and then do the right thing. All right. So I will insert the table. Then, so here we go. All right. So when you do this, maybe insert the table. After insert the table, without clicking outside or anywhere, you can see that you have table, the properties here, table name. Just below the file, we have table name. If you're seeing where I am pointing at, it will be good. If you're seeing where I'm pointing, okay, look at this. You see the A. This A, just follow the cursor. Follow my cursor. This side. We have when you come to cell A6, you see that it's receipt, right? Just follow the cursor, move up. Just follow my cursor, move up. You see that? See the name box, this side. You can see that we have table name. We have table 2. You can have table 5. Any table you have, just clear that name, and then type there. This is analytical. So let's type analytical. Then you enter. Always remember to enter. All right. Now this table name is analytical. Okay. So when you are done, just click on the table. Go to table design again. When you are done with the name, you click outside the table. Just click outside like this. Just click outside like this. And now the table name is gone. Now click back again. Go to table design. Now you can see the table name is there, analytical. If it is not there, it means that you didn't enter. Then you have to name it again. All right. Now we are done with this. The next thing is that we are going to validate each of these fields, so that it will meet our requirement. For example, this one will be in this particular cell. It's not just accepting numbers, right? Even though it's a number, but it's not just a number. It will be in currency format. All right. So if you can type this one, and then someone can also type this. This is what we will be. We'll be expecting it. We'll be expecting there. Like we want something like this there instead of this. If it's in thousands, it should be like this. It should be formatted. Okay. All right. So we'll format this cell to accounting. Well, it can be in currency, but we don't want a situation where the Ghana cedi sign will just be in the figures. It will make it look some way. So let's format it to accounting. You will click in it. Now, the cells, I will not be mentioning the cell reference. This is A7, this is A8, this is B7, this is C7. If I mention C7, then you are at, maybe you started from here, instead you become more confused. So now I'll be mentioning them according to their labels. These are the labels, the field names, these are the, all right. So now go to the receipt. When I say go to the receipt, this is the receipt, right? You come and click below it. Are you okay? All right. So imagine we have finished typing 100 records. And I say go to the receipt. You still come down. You should know that this particular, the entire row like this or column is the receipt row, right? So when I just say go to receipt and type 10,000, if all these places are occupied, then you have to just move down to the last the last row on the table and type that 10,000. So I wouldn't be mentioning 800. I don't know where your 800 is. Maybe your 800 might have been far away from where your records are. My 800 might have been occupied. So when I mention 801, you should know that, you'll be confused. So I will mention receipt. All right. So at the receipt side, so you click here, not the heading, the receipt side. When I say go to receipt, you click here. When I say go to date, you will click here. You click here. All right. Not this. Okay. All right. So go to the receipt. Now, when you go to the receipt, we are going to format it to accounting. Just click there, go home. If maybe you might have been in design or whatever, or data, just come home. Then you will see this number group. There's a comma there. Click on the comma. Now, when you type something there, it will be formatted to accounting format. Okay. All right. Let's go to the date. It's good when you do any formatting, you test it. All right. Let's go to the date. Now with the date, we will go to the number group. You see where the percentage is. Basically, it should be general, but I initially formatted, that's why. So you go to the number group where the general is. There's a drop down there. Click on it. Come and select short dates. Now reference. With the reference, we wouldn't be formatting to anywhere, because reference will just be accepting maybe receipt numbers. We made a repair on a particular car, so that car number will be there, just something like that. The voucher numbers and the rest, they will be at the receipt side. Okay. Now, so we leave that and go to the details. The details, there will be nothing there. For example, let's look at this. So the detail side, that cash received, stamp, whatever. It is not necessary. I think down we won't delete it. The details is repeating. Mostly I don't add it. Those of you who are online, you could realize that I didn't add it. So if I put here, let's say we are paying for rent, you can't type here rent paid and can't select here rent paid and can't select here rent. You see, it's just the repetition of the account. The details is just a repetition of the account. So let us delete the details. How do you do that? Just go on top of the, no, I wouldn't want to do that one. Just select it like this. Put the cursor. Just select from the details to the item down. Just select the two. Just select from, let me mention the cell reference. Click on G7 and hold. Drag to D6 like this. Let me highlight it and you see. Select these two cells. Right click on it. Then you go to delete. Now we are deleting column, right? Alright, we have deleted the column. Okay. So we are done with the date. I said reference, there will be nothing there. So let's go to payment. Now payment and then receipt, they are just similar. They are the same, because this will be accepting figures, and here also be accepting figures. So let's also click at the payment. Now let's go to general or the number group and click on the comma. Okay. Now let's go to the account class. Now you remember in file sheet we had something like account class. See, we have account class here, right? So we are going to display this item there. We want this item to be displayed there for selection. So we come to that account class. When you come to the account class, before that, you see that we have some filters here. We have some filters on top of the headings. You see, when we have the account class, down here we are having some filters, this and there. Let's remove it. Alright, let's remove it. Just make sure you are inside the table. Click on any cell inside the table. Then go to data. Now you see that we have something like filter, which is selected. Just uncheck, just click on it. Now those filter items will go. Well, those filter, you can use them to filter out items. For example, you want to know the number of times, let me say you want to know the number of times, let's say you want to filter out only rent from the account side. You can just click on that, then the items here will come, then you uncheck all of them, leaving rent. Maybe date, you want to only filter out a particular day, the same thing, but we are not having typing entering the records. We'll try those things. Let's move it so that it won't be confusing us. Alright, so the account class. Let's go to, once you select the account class like this, once you select it, let's go to data, go to data validation. Alright, so most of you will always see data validation in full like this. Most of you also see something like, if your screen is small like mine, you'll be seeing data validation. It's just a symbol, that red and then green mark with some two blocks behind it, and just click on it. Now by default, every Excel cell has been programmed in such a way that you accept any value. You can type anything at all inside a cell, but now I want to limit it to only some list of items, which is the account class. So the allow side, allow, let's select list. Now when we come to, after selecting list, the source will now be active for us. Now the source, we want to only limit it to the account class. how do you do that? You can just say equal to account class. You can type equal to ACCT class, or if you're not sure of the name, just on F3, sorry, where is it? F3. When you press on F3, this pop-up will come. You see that? Then you select account class, double click on it, then it will bring you back here, equal to account class. It's the same thing as you typing. But if you're not sure of the name, do F3, then do OK. If you're using laptop and then your F3 is not giving you, always hold the function key plus the function key, then you will now press function key hold and press F3. Now when we are done, you can see that there's a filter there. Click on it, then you have them. Here are your account, what's the name? The account class items. Alright, let's move to the account. Now the account is actually referring to all these items. These items are the account. So when we get there, we will be selecting all these items. For example, we are paying for rent. This is where we will select the rent. Let's say balance brought down, we will select it here. Let's say furniture, we will select it here. That's it there, just like we have here. You see, cash receipt, let's say whatever, all these items, balance brought down, cash receipt, all of them will be under the account. Okay, so how do you then do that? But the problem is we don't have a particular rule where we save all these items together. They are in a separate rows. So before we can actually get all these items in the same row. For example, when we did equal to account class, you see that we are only seeing the account class items. You see that there are only 3. Here are there are only 3. Now at the account we can't say equal to income. If you say equal to income, we will only be seeing the income item. What if we want to select the asset or want to select this? You see that it will not be possible for us. Because of that, we will be using a formula inside the data validation. So inside the data validation, we will say equal to indirect, then you open bracket, then mention the cell, which is C7, right? Sorry, E7, indirect of the account class, and my account class is in E7. The account class, here, this is the label and this is the actual content. So I'll type E7. Alright, then I will close it. Alright, let me see something. Alright, that's it. So this is the formula you'll be typing inside the data validation. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm just typing the formula here so that you can see it clear before I go inside. Inside there is not always, inside the pop-up is not always clear. So I want to put it here. So this is the formula you'll be typing. Equal to indirect. Indirect of what? Indirect of the account class. And the account class is in cell E7. This is the account class E7. Okay. Now let's move to. So now let me go into it. Whilst you are in the account class, let's go to data validation again. Oh, Jesus. Go to data validation again. Alright. Then you select list from the any value side. Then when you come to your source, you say equal to indirect bracket open the account class. In my case, E7. Note, the E7 is not referring to the account class as a label, but it's referring to the place where you'll be selecting. Okay. Now let's do okay. Now after doing okay, you will always see this pop-up. Mostly, the source is currently evaluate. The source currently evaluate to an error. You want to continue? Just say yes. Now the reason we saw that is we are saying that this place should be indirect of here, but here was empty. The account class was empty. That's why we saw it. But if you have selected something already, if you have selected, let's say, expense already, you will have seen that error message. All right. So now let's see. Here you go. We have the expense items. Let's try for income, and you have your income items here. And let's try for asset. You have your asset items. All right. So in case you are not seeing, in fact, when you are done with the validation, always try it. Check for all of them, like I just did. Check for the income, then you check for the rest. Now when you check any of them, then you come here, then they're not showing. For example, let me do something and then let me say here. All right, let me type incomes. All right, so in case you have income here, you select income here, then you come here to select, and then it's not selecting. I'm clicking. You hear that? I'm clicking, but it's not showing. Nothing is showing. But let me change different item. Let me go to expense. All right, you see the expense have come, but that one hasn't come. So if you see any of those errors, situation where you'll be selecting and it will not be selecting, it means that you didn't start the beginning well. Listen to the beginning again. I said when you are naming the fields, when you are naming them like you did, when you are naming them, make sure the name you type inside the name box matches what you have under the account class. For example, this item have just selected. I named it as what income. By the name box, by the account class here is what incomes. You see there's S, but here there's no S. So in a situation like this, it can always give you that error. Okay, so make sure that when you're naming, the name you type there. I type here, the name I gave to this item was incomes. Income without S. So here should also be income. If you name these items with S, expenses. Here is not expenses. Here is expense. Make sure that you will do the correction. You either add S here, or you go to. All right, let me take you through that. So, for example, you named this one with S. Meanwhile, there's one S here, and you want to remove the S from the name. You go to the formula. Now you go to name manager. Now when you go to name, and this dialog box or pop-up will come. You look for the item you want to edit. For example, expense. Just select it, then say edit. When I say edit, the name will come. You can now remove that S, or just name it. Just give the name you want to give, and then arrange to. If you now want to expand it, you can expand it here. This is up to 10, right? You can add 0, so it will be 100. Just in that order. All right. Nice. So we are done with the account, right? Now let's go to this side. Let me go to the online one. Let's go to this side. Now we have this is the accounts, postage, stationery, and the rest. Now I want to validate in such a way that anytime we select postage here, the amount should appear under postage. If you select stationery here, the amount should go under stationery. If you select anything, it should locate where its heading is or its field is and go there. You see, that's the traditional way of doing it. The normal way, or let's say the manual way of doing it, is what I just showed you online. This is how we used to design. But now let's put it in a system form. With that, you can just use your eyes to look and say, oh, to go here. Well, here, where we are not going to use our eyes. We are going to use the system. All right. So now let's go. When we get here, the formula will be, we have the formula in 3 sections, right? We have the first portion, the second portion. The formula will be something like this. Sorry, it will be something like this. The formula will be something like we have one. Let me do analyze. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 will be on the same row, but the fourth one will be above. Let's take it. We have the heading, which is here. Then we have the account which is here. We have the account class, which is here. And we have the amount, the payment amount, which is here. All right. So the formula is going. We are going to make use of 4 major cells. Let's go. So let's go to the first item, or the first account item. The first account item here is what? Insurance. So we'll be typing a formula to actually push the figure to insurance. Okay, let me just select insurance here, so that when we do and it's correct, we just appear there. Let me select insurance. Now let me type the amount, payment amount. Let me say 100 Ghana cedis. Okay. Now let's go to the insurance. So now my screen. Let me minimize this more. Okay, it's okay. Now in the insurance, we want anytime we select insurance here, this amount to appear here. See, we've selected insurance and we have that amount here. So here should have been 100. All right, so now let's put the formula there. So now we're using a function, not a formula. This is a function, and we're using the if function. A formula is just like we say equal to this plus that. This is a formula, but the function is equal to if error, ifs, some if, whatever, average, whatever, max, all those things are what we call function. All right, so insurance, we are going to type the if function equal to, they will say if, it will come, double click on it, or you use the tab key, or you open your bracket, anyhow. Now the if comes with some syntax. We have the logic, maybe in your exams or your midterm, they can ask you what are the syntax of if function. Then you mention the logical test, the value if true, and then the value if false. Those are the syntax of the if function. All right, so now we start from the logical test. So when I point the cursor on it, it will be, it will turn color, but here it will turn color because we are still working on the logical test. Now our logical test is that anytime the account matches the heading of the current cell, or the current range, whatever, or the current column, then the amount should appear there. Anytime let me do this. Anytime the account, which is this, matches this, if the account matches the heading, any of these headings, if the account here matches this, that in that order, if it immediately match, then the amount which we type under the payment should appear there. So for example, if here is rent, then 100 should appear here. If here is motor running, then it should appear there. Just in that order. Okay. So now let's start from the insurance. We say equal to if function, equal to if bracket open. Our logical test is that account class, which is F7. F7 equal to what? The equal to means if they are the same. If it matches the heading of the current column, which is what? J6. So this is the only time we are using the headings in our formula. By the rest, we are always making reference to the actual content. Okay. So if the account, which is F7, matches the heading of our current column, which is insurance in J6. If they match, what should happen? So if they match, that's our logical test, right? Now after the logical test, you see that there's a comma there, comma. So let's also bring the comma. Now if actually they match, what should happen? What should happen is that the amount we type at the payment side should appear here. So how do you put that in SL language? We just say, we just mention the cell reference for that particular payment, which is D7. Okay. Okay, so what if, what I just typed now means that if actually the account matches the heading, what if they do not match? What should happen? So after the logical test, they will bring comma. What if they do not match? What should happen? That's the value if false. The last syntax, that's the value if false. So in case they do not match, let's show nothing there. It's not single quote, it's double quote, shift and then the quotation mark. Two of them. You do shift, quotation, and then you add another one. Don't use the quotation mark alone. That you type 4, but here we type only twice. Immediately you use that, it will give you error. Let me do that. You see, you may think this is it, but when I enter, you get error. You said it's giving me error, and it will even select that particular side for you to know that's where the error is. So when you do that, delete those single quote and put double quote there. Now when I enter, you see that the handle should have appeared under here to show that it's actually that. All right, let me copy this formula, go and put it there. Let's see what will happen. No, let me not do this. What I want us to do is that I want to only use one formula. Then we autofill for everything we does here. We don't want to, type formula here, type formula no, to delay us, and even type formula here. No, if you're doing that, then it's better you do it manually. Okay, so we want to use the same formula, autofill here, and also autofill down. Let's try and see whether if we autofill to work. Let me autofill up to the last item. Mostly when you look at the table, you could see that there's some deep angle at the bottom. That's always the ending of the table. All right, let's autofill. Now I've autofilled to the ending of it, to the motor vehicle, right? But let me double click here and see what will happen. Now, okay, let me go and try to select motor vehicle and see whether it will come there. Motor vehicle is what? Asset. Let me select motor vehicle. Okay, now let's go to the motor vehicle side and see what will go. And nothing appeared. Nothing appeared. It's simple. Let me double click and you see something. When I double click, instead of account class selected, you see that account to select under the furniture, which is wrong. So no matter where we are, we have to always make sure that we make reference to the account class. And then here, let me put it here. All right, where am I? Let me go forward more. For one all to appear. All right, whether we are in insurance or rent, we want to make sure that this particular cell or this particular column D and column F is always selected. Column D comes with the payment, right? The amount. And then column F comes with what? The account. That's where you can actually select a particular item. Let me go to the online owner, you see, whether you are here, whether you come to where the 100 is, whether you are there or you are here, all the time you will make reference to what you type under the details. So once the details is a stapler, then the amount will go to the stationery. When you come to this side, details was stamps and then it went to postage. So anywhere we are, we always make reference to the details, and we also make reference to the total payment. All right. For example, you see when we were here, the amount that appeared here was from the payment, right? When we came to stationery, the amount that appeared was from here. So whether we are standing at Z or Q, we will always make reference to D and F. Are you okay? So now we want to make sure that column D is absoluted and column F is also absoluted. All right. So in doing so, all right, let me absolute D and F. Another thing you have to also notice that you see after you type the first row and you are coming down, that's also another issue. For example, let me now double click and see. You see that when I came down like this, the two cells have moved in the direction of D and then F. But the heading that was selected have also moved down, which is wrong. We have to always make sure that it is the heading that is selected. So in order to do so, let's absolute some cells, leave some relative. Okay. So here we are going to use a mixed cell references. We have three types of cell references, which is the absolute cell reference, mixed cell reference, and the relative cell reference. What I have done here, this formula, this function, whatever function or formula, what you are seeing here is a relative cell reference. As I move, it also moves. Okay, but if I want to absolute it, it means that that cell will always be fixed. No matter where I go, the cell should always be making reference to it. So now let's keep some fixed and then make some open. So for example, if I make the F fixed and leave this one open, it is a mixed cell reference. But if I make all fixed, this one $F $7 is a fixed or absolute cell reference. But if I put F $7 is a mixed cell reference. Are you okay? All right. I said we are going to make the F absolute, right? So when we go to D, Q, J up to Z, it should always make reference to the account. Okay. So we put $sign on the 7. The $sign when you click on front of the or behind the F, you shift and then 4. That's $sign. Or you press on F4, the $sign will come. Initially, when you press the F4, when you press on the F4, the $sign will be against all of them. You press the second time and you press the third time. It will move to where I want. Okay. Now then the next one is to also absolute the headings. Okay. So that when you are coming down to 8, 9, 10, it should always maintain on the heading. And now when you are to absolute the heading, you cannot say I'm absoluting J, because when you are coming down, J will never change. It is when you are going to this direction that's where J can change. by when we are going to this direction, to want the gain to be changing from insurance to rent in that order. So we don't absolute the gain, but we absolute the 6. So when we are coming down, even though to be on gain, but the 6 will always be fixed. Are you okay? So let's absolute the 6. We want to keep the 6 absoluted. Now let's go to the D. The D to the payment. Now when we are coming down, we want the D to always be so when we are coming down, we want the numbers to change from 7 to 8, 9, 10 in that order. But when we are going to the right, we want the D to always be fixed. So let's make D absolute by putting $sign on it. So in simple terms, the formula is in 3 sections. Let me copy it and display it well, and you see. Let me display it here well. Let me paste it here. Alright, so the formula is in 3 sections. This is the first section. This is the first section. This is the second one, and then this is the third one. Now with the first one and then the last one. The first one and then the last one here and here. The D and then the F. The first and then the last one. You put $sign in front of them. But the middle one, you put the $sign in the middle. Okay? You put the $sign in the middle. Alright. Alright, so you put the $sign in the middle. Alright, so that's it. Then look at this formula. So that's it. So you put the $sign first for the first one and first for the last one, but the middle you put it in the middle. Okay, now you can autofill this formula. That's it. So now when I got to, you see that the 100 have now come because this formula is now correct. Alright, so that's it. Alright, so let's enter some records and see. Alright, so now it is correct. There we have the, let me see. Alright. Oh, like I didn't take from the game. When you're autofill, make sure that you are standing on the right cell. Alright. Now let's go to the, so we are done with the analytical like that. Let's go to the am I doing the right thing? Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay, so we also want to put the totals for each of the expenses we incurred. So we will stand on the first expense item, which is the insurance. Let's come and stand here. We want to know how much we have incurred on it. So we want to know their balances. If the items are 1,000, 2,000, we can't be summing them one by one. So they want to sum them at once. So let's say equal sum, then bracket open, then want to know the total for insurance. So let's just click on insurance, and you put the cursor on insurance like this. You see this is my cursor. Bring it in, put it on a line, then to turn an arrow pointing down. Just click, then it will come like this. So the formula will be analytical square bracket insurance. Once you type and just come and click, and to give you enter. Then you autofill for them. See, when you're autofilling, don't stand here and autofill. Don't stand here. Make sure you're on where the formula is. So when I click, there's a formula on the formula bar. Stand there and then now come to the dot, that angle. When you turn to plus, don't do this and go. When you do, you are picking it. Don't pick it. Make sure you turn to plus. Okay. Alright. So here we go. This is now the totals for them. What do I do? Alright. Now let's do the Now let's do the balances for the receipt and payment. After that, we'll do the the payment and receipt. All right. So here we have our receipt, we have our payment, we type them in. We have receipt, we have payment, and then lastly we have balance. We have balance. Okay. Alright. If you want to do what I will do, just watch. I just select receipt. I just select all the, from receipt, from A1 to B. You can equally type here receipt, payment, and then balance here. That is how I want mine. A to B. I want to just insert some border. I want them to look nice. You go home. See, we have border here. I want to put all borders. Alright. Then we want to know how much we have received and how much we have spent. Alright. When you fold at the end, you will see that this is the balance for it. We also want to do same. This is the receipt item and this is the balance. We want to also do same. So we could say equal to sum. Let's ask we did for the balances over there. Sum. This is receipt, right? So we come and sum the receipt items. Then we enter. Alright. Then let's go to payment. Let's go to the payment side. The same thing. Equal to sum. Then we sum the totals for. We sum all the payment items. Here we go. Then we enter. Alright. So far we've paid 100 cedis. We haven't received anything. Okay. So let me, for example, I receive something like this. Alright. Now let me come and do the. Let me delete it first. Let's come and do the balance. The balance will be what? Receipt minus what? Payment, right? Receipt minus payment. And then the receipt is in B1, payment is in B2. So let's do that and enter. Okay. Let's also format this to accounting. Alright, select the two. Select from the receipt to payment. Click OK, it's in accounting. Just click this and a comma. And it's in accounting. Okay. For example, if I also receive 100 cedis, you see that it will be 0 now. Alright, now let me delete those items I have typed. Okay. When you delete, make sure you don't delete from this side because that's where the formulas are. Just delete from the account coming back. You can delete anything back. After the account, you can't delete anything there. Alright. I hope you are seeing the information. Alright. Our next meeting and our next video will be dependent on the number of people who have actually paid. Alright. So let's proceed to the next what is it? So we're done with this one. Let's go to the payment and then receipt. Payment and then the receipt. Okay, let's start from the A1. Let's start the receipt. Receipt. Now B1, let's type the down. This is our debit side, so let's type down. Let's see this. Alt 155. GH. Then you type Alt 155. Then you type GH. Then Alt 155. If you don't have it, just type GHC. So we have our debit and our credit side. Now let's list all the receipt items. Now let me bring this one down small. Like this. Okay, I think that's okay. Let's list our receipt items. And what are our receipt items? Here are we have the incomes. I think that's all. They are only incomes, right? Follow this. You can copy and go and paste, or you can make reference to those cells. Let's say equal to. You can either copy and come and paste, or you can make reference equal to. Then you come and click. You click on file. Now you click on the first item, which is balance drop down. Enter. it will appear here. When it appears, you autofill, just drag it down. Don't stand on the empty space. Go back to the balance draw down. The dot there, just click on it, pull and drag down. Alright. So we have up to bar sales. I think here there's nothing here. The last item was bar sales. Okay. So let's remove that empty line, delete it. Alright, let's leave one line. Come and type explain payment. What do we want to type? Whether payment or expenditure. Payment. The same thing. We say equal to, come to file, come and click on the first expense items. Then we autofill down. Stationery is not the last item. Okay, stationery is the last item. Now let's do same thing for the expenses, the asset. Let's do the same for the asset. After the stationery, do another equal to, come there, come to file, click on furniture, enter, and then autofill. That's it. Alright, so then we'll then put their figures here. So let's say the asset figures will be here, and then the payment figures will be here. Alright, so let's use another function to fetch out their figures. Want to know how much we have received on balance brought down. I want to know the balance for balance brought down. So let's do that. So equal to sum if, then open your square bracket, open a bracket. Now the first syntax is what? Range. So they're asking us for the range. Which range can we see balance brought down? In the analytical cashbook. That's where the figures are coming from. The analytical book. Where can we see balance brought down? Where can we see subscription? Where can we see bar sales? Just in that order. So equal to sum bracket open. You go to analytical. Now when you come to analytical, we search for the range where we can find the that balance brought down, and mostly it can always be found under the account. You okay? Because here when we select income here, then we come and select balance brought down here. It is only that place that we can see it. Apart from there, we can't find it anywhere. So we come to the account, put the cursor on top of it. That's F. Put the cursor on top of the account. Make sure it's pointing down like this. Click, then you have it there. The formula is now equal to sum if analytical square bracket account square bracket close. That's our range. Now come on. The criteria. What criteria are we looking for from this range? Obviously, we are looking for balance brought down, right? And our balance, we can type balance brought down into quotation mark. But when we do that and we are autofilling, then we have to be changing one after the other, which we don't want. So let's make reference to a particular cell that have balance brought down. We just came from payment and receipt, right? And then the balance brought down was in A2. So type A2. Okay, then comma. The next one they'll ask you for sum range. So if there is balance brought down here, where are we summing our figures from? Are we summing from payment or we are summing from receipt? This is an income, so let's sum from receipt. So come and click on the receipt like this. Put the cursor on it. When it's showing down, click. So it will be equal to sum if analytical account, comma, A2, comma, receipt, analytical. Then you enter. There you go. Now it's 0 because we don't have anything like analytical there. Now I was saying that analytical is A2. Let me double click on it. You'll see that the A2 has been selected here to show that, yeah, that's it. The balance brought down instead is A2. Let's autofill it for the rest. They're all 0, 0 because there is no figure there. Alright. Okay, so let's sum the total for this one, then we'll go to the payment. But then let's underline it first. Just click on it and underline. Alright, let's select all the items, format it to accounting. Okay, so let me put the total here, right? Let me bring the total here. So this one, let's sum this. Let's say equal to sum type equal to sum, then you say B2 is to B4. Here is it, equal to sum B2 is to B4. Then you enter. Well, do that here, don't put it down, do that here. You come here and say equal to sum B2 is to B4. There you go. Now let's do the for the payment. So this is a header. Let's bold in this one. It will be alright. Let's also bold in this figure because the total. Okay, let's come to the payment. The first item there is insurance. Alright, so the formula will be the same thing as this formula, as this. But the only thing that will be changing here is the receipt. You just change here to payment, and that's all. So you can copy this formula, enter this. You can stand here, go to the formula bar, copy it, Control C, then enter. Make sure you enter before. After entry, you come to the payment, paste it there, double click on it. Now how you double click on it, you see that here was making reference to A2. Let's change that A2 to A7. And then here was what? Receipt, right? Let's change that to payment. And that is all. Then when you type it, will even come. Then that's it. You enter. Then you can autofill. Or you can repeat the formula again. Whatever. Let me repeat it. Let me type the formula again. Else we have, I want to repeat. If not, I will just autofill it. So equal to some if some if the range, come to analytical, another account that we can find it, comma, what are we looking for? We're looking for A7. So okay, here will be A8. I was standing on A8, so it will be A8, comma, then some range will be payment, right? You can't click on the payment. Initially you click on receipt, right here, we are clicking on payment, then you enter. Let me see where that's it. Okay, that's it. A8, range is A8. Alright, then you can autofill this formula. And there you go. Let's also format them to accounting. Accounting. Alright. So now we are done with it. But let's put some balances here. Let's also total for the payment. Select all of them. Oh, sorry. Whatever. Come down and say, okay, let's underline this one. Now let's put the total here. Equal to sum. Let's type equal to sum B. I mean C7 is to. So what am I doing? A minute. Let's say assignment say equal to C7. C7 is to. You say equal to C7 is to 15. It's to C15. C7 is to C15. Type that. Type equal to C7 is to C15 there. Then you enter. This one is our total payment. Total payment. Okay. And then we bolden it. Alright. So with this one, this is our total payment, this is our total receipt. Now let's look at the difference, and that will be our balance. Let's say balance. The balance will be equal to total receipt minus total payment. Alright, now let's also bold in this. Okay. So this is our final answer. Alright, so let me go and enter 1 or 2 records and we see. Hey, 1 hour. Let's enter 1 or 2 records and we see. Alright, let's start from. Let's go to this. Let me read the question. So on 1st January 2018, bank balance was 1050. So bank balance is a receipt. It's an income item. It's not an expense. So let's record it against the receipt. So 1050 is 1st January 2018. Then we go to the ref. The ref have nothing. Payment will blank. Let's come to account class and select income and go to the account and select balance BD. Okay, let's go and check. Alright, so here you go. You see that the amount have appeared here, and this is the total. Now this is the balance. When we go back to the analytical, the same thing that we will see there. When you go to the receipt is that, and the balance is the payment is now 0. Let's continue. Come to the next slide. The next question. Payment of insurance for car number AS 2011 W200. So it's payment, right? So we go to second dash 1-18. Alright, this second. So we type the car number again, the reference AS 2011 W. Then amount is 200. Then it's expenses. Then we select. What are we paying for? Insurance. We are paying for insurance of 200 Ghana cedis. Let's see that it have appeared here as 200 cedis for insurance. The receipt man of the payment will now give you this. Let's verify that from here. So here we go. We have it there. I think that is it. So you just continue typing for it. And when you verify here too, you see that the amount have actually appeared at the insurance side. And then the total have also come up. Okay. Let me expand the account class more. Yes. Let me enter additional 2 and then stop. Alright, let's go. On 3rd January 2018. On 3rd January 2018, subscription received from members. We are receiving subscription from members, so this is a receipt. 1,800 at the receipt side. We come to the account class and select income. The account will be subscription. So in case you are doing them, you will not see any item. You go back to the file. If subscription wasn't there, just come to the file and add it to the file items, just in that order. So when you do subscription, don't expect the amount to appear here because it's not payment, it's just a receipt. So to appear the receipt, then it will be summing here. When you go to the report and check, it will be there. It will be there. Subscription have added here, just in that order. Now let's go. The next one. I think this should be the last one. We have donation receipt. It's also a receipt. Subscription receipt when paid. Purchases of drinks for bar. This is purchases and it's paying. Okay, let me enter the next one and jump to that one. I've entered for the 3rd. 4th January, purchase of office chair. So 4-1-18. 4th January, we bought office chairs. And office chair is what? We are furniture. Table and chair are furniture, which is asset, right? So let's select asset. Then we select furniture. The amount is what? How much? 2,300. Alright, then when you go to furniture side, the amount will appear there. That's it. Okay. So when you come here, you see that it will also appear here. Okay, so if furniture appears again, it can be added to this figure. Alright. I think that is it. You can continue with the others. Because if not that, the video will be too long. Thank you very much. Alright. Let me check. So basically this is it for the analytical cashbook. We call it done. All right, so we'll call it done. All right. Okay, so here we go. We are done with analytical. All right, so that is all for today. Thank you very much. Let me save my work. Let me save it on desktop. On desktop. Bye.